In 1911, someone walked into the Louvre and stole the Mona Lisa. But the strangest part is not that he stole it. It is that, for a while, almost nobody noticed. Today, that sounds impossible. The Mona Lisa has its own room, bulletproof glass, and crowds fighting for a glimpse. But back then, it was not yet the most famous painting in the world. It was respected, it was admired, but many visitors still walked right past it. Then, it disappeared, and suddenly, the painting people barely noticed became the painting everyone wanted to find. The story began when the space where the Mona Lisa should have been was found empty. At first, there was no panic. Paintings at the Louvre were sometimes taken down for photography, cleaning, or restoration, so employees assumed it had simply been moved. But as the day went on, that explanation fell apart. No photographer had it, no restorer had it, no curator had ordered it moved. The Mona Lisa was gone. The Louvre shut its doors, and police searched the museum from top to bottom. But there was no broken glass, no dramatic trail, no obvious mastermind, just an empty space on the wall. And then something strange happened. The missing painting became more powerful than the painting itself had ever been. People came to the Louvre just to stare at the blank spot where it used to hang. Newspapers printed images of the empty wall. Crowds gathered around absence. And millions of people who had never cared about the Mona Lisa were suddenly asking the same question: where did it go? The mystery became a worldwide sensation. Some imagined an international gang. Others imagined a secret collector. At one point, police even questioned Pablo Picasso because of a separate case involving stolen objects from the Louvre. But while investigators chased famous names and dramatic theories, the truth was almost embarrassing. The thief was a former Louvre worker named Vincenzo Peruggia. He knew the building, he knew the routines, and he knew that a man dressed like a worker could move through the Louvre without attracting attention. On the morning of the theft, Peruggia lifted the Mona Lisa from the wall and carried it into a nearby stairwell. There, he removed it from its frame and protective case. The painting was on wood, not canvas, so he could not roll it up, but it was small enough to hide beneath his white work smock. Then he walked toward the exit. When he reached a locked door, he removed the doorknob. A Louvre plumber saw him struggling, but instead of stopping him, he helped open the door. To the plumber, Peruggia looked like just another employee. A few minutes later, he walked out of the Louvre, carrying one of the greatest treasures in European art. Nobody stopped him. For more than 2 years, the Mona Lisa was not hidden in a palace, a vault, or some collector's mansion. It was hidden inside Peruggia's small apartment in Paris, inside a simple wooden trunk, only a short distance from the museum, where everyone was searching for it. Then, in 1913, Peruggia made the mistake that ended the mystery. He contacted an art dealer in Florence and offered to return the Mona Lisa to Italy. Peruggia claimed he was a patriot. In his mind, he was returning Leonardo's masterpiece to the country where it belonged. But the history behind that belief was wrong. Leonardo had spent the final years of his life in France, and the Mona Lisa had remained there after his death. And Peruggia was not offering it back for free. He asked for a reward. The art dealer realized the painting was real. The police were called. Peruggia was arrested, and after more than 2 years, the Mona Lisa was recovered. When the painting returned to the Louvre, enormous crowds came to see it. But they were no longer looking at just another Renaissance masterpiece. They were looking at the painting that had vanished. Before the theft, the Mona Lisa was respected. After the theft, it was priceless. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.